Good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of Finding Answers. We are live here in our North London studios, bringing you another real life story. And on tonight's program, we are returning back to that old subject of forgiveness. It's very hard to forgive the one who has hurt you, no matter who that might be. Whether it's a friend, a work colleague, or even a close family member or spouse. But normally it's really hard when it's someone who's close to you. So we're going to be talking about this subject, forgiving your partner. And let's show you the video now, explaining more about tonight's topic, and then we'll go into the story for this evening. Have a look at this.
In today's world, many people worry about the faithfulness and loyalty of their spouses. This is because cheating is a great concern in many romantic relationships. According to research, most dating and relationship advice is often focused on tips on how to spot a cheater and how to keep someone from cheating. However, a much greater question is often left unanswered. Should I forgive my cheating partner? Deciding whether or not you are willing to forgive your cheating partner is completely up to the individual. However, according to experts, there are 5 questions you should ask yourself before making your final decision. First, find out whether they have cheated in previous relationships. When someone develops a constant pattern of cheating, then it is most likely that they will continue to do so until someone, hopefully you, confronts them about their unacceptable behavior and decides to leave the relationship. Only so will they realize that they have to change. Secondly, know why they did it. Sometimes it is easier to understand a one-off incident than repeated slip-ups or a long-term affair. Thirdly, ask yourself what you think they would do if they were to get into the same predicament in the future. Can they give you any guarantees that it won't happen again? Fourthly, try to remember the state of your relationship at the time. Perhaps it will be much easier for you to forgive your partner if you know that you were aware that your relationship was in a crisis at the time of their infidelity. And finally, does your partner regret what they have done? They should be more disappointed at the damage and pain their infidelity has caused your relationship than you are.
So there you have it, tonight's topic, should I forgive my cheating partner? And maybe your partner has cheated on you one day. Did you have that strength within you to forgive them? Or did you say, you know what, enough's enough. Once is enough. They've broken my trust. I can't, believe this person anymore. And that's it, you've broken up with them. And I know each case is an individual one, but would you trust a cheating partner? Would you be able to forgive, I was going to say him, but also it relates to females as well because they also cheat. So could you forgive him or her? And, it doesn't matter how bad it may be or what it was that they did. There's no excuse. There's no excuse for cheating. There's no excuse for seeing someone else. And I know that, there are people that say, well, he or she drove me to it. Remember, it takes 2 to tango. So rather than going and doing it because you are fed up, there were things that you could have done for it not to reach that point. And a lot of people don't actually think in the moment, in the now, let's try and solve this before I end up cheating. So can you forgive your partner? That's tonight's topic and we're going to be dealing with that, all right? If you'd like to contact us, we have our lines that are open now. I know it's a sensitive subject, you don't like to bring out all the dirty laundry, but if you say, I want to forgive my cheating partner, but I don't know how, I don't have that strength to, well, you are not wrong. If you say, I've forgiven, but I've moved on, or I can't forgive, you want some advice, you want someone to talk to, then the number's on the screen. It's 0207 686 6300. You can speak to someone right now if you would like a prayer even, and I will reveal to you later on in the program why a prayer is needed for an area like this. Okay, so you can also ask for a prayer if you wish, and you can remain anonymous if you want as well. If you'd like to send in an email with any questions related not only to tonight's topic, but you have a question that you would like us to answer personally, then you can send that email to help@findinganswers.tv. If you'd like to send us a tweet, you can do so as well at FindAnswersTV. And if you've missed any of our programs, and you'd like to catch up on any, we have a vast array of programs covering different stories of how people, learned to use their faith to beat that problem that they were facing. Then all you have to do is go to YouTube and you do a search for our channel, Finding Answers, and all the programs are there for your perusal. All right? So, back to tonight's topic. If you ask me, Michael, would you forgive a cheating partner? I don't know. I will have to say, it depends on the circumstances. I don't know what I would do. It depends what happened. I in my right mind now, I could probably say, it's about both of us. We shouldn't have let it got that far. But I could be angry. I could be so mad that I say, I want nothing to do with her anymore. I really can't say what I would do. As I said, circumstances are different. And maybe you are in the middle. You are right now, both of you are at the point where you are you're thinking of doing something that maybe later on you regret. Then stop. Don't do anything drastic. Okay? Whether you're watching us live now, or maybe you're watching this program on our YouTube channel. Don't do anything before you watch this program. Maybe it's already done. Can I forgive my cheating partner? Well, you can, it's possible, but as I said, you've got to find it within you. Can you trust your partner again? What is their history? What have they done in their past? Did you actually find out about this person? Whether they're a boyfriend or girlfriend, whether they are your spouse, did you find out who this person was before you got together with them? Do you know their history? If you did your homework and you realized this person cheated but they've changed, well, there are signs there. There were signs that probably it could happen in the future. But if there are no signs there, okay, it's a different matter. But, as I said, each individual case needs to be judged. And we want to help you. There's no answers, but we want to help you to forgive. Forgive, and then it's up to you if you decide that you want to move on or not. And we're going to talk about how faith which you have, which maybe you have not used or you don't know that you have it, but faith in God can help you to move forward instead of being stuck. And we're going to talk about that as well as the program continues on. All right, we're going to go for a break now, and when we come back, I'll introduce you to my guest for this evening, and it relates to, her relationships, or relationship, I should say, when she was very young. We'll see you right after this break.
Chrissy B, and my show is all about improving your mental health and being happy. Join me every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 10 p.m. on my channel Sky 203. Visit chrissybshow.tv for more information and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Chrissy B Show. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Chrissy B Show and on our Facebook page, The Chrissy B Show.
Do the maths. Changing your life is not as simple as changing your hairstyle, your shirt, or rearranging the furniture in your living room. You're talking about years of deep-rooted habits, behaviours and problems that are not going to change overnight. Many may say, think positively. But the trouble with that is that you can't do or change anything with just thoughts. But add action into the equation and the outcome can be different. Let's do the maths. Positive thinking plus action equals a change. Whatever it is, if the change is significant, if it's worthwhile, then it will have to take time, effort and homework from you.
Make it, do it, makes us harder, better, faster, stronger.
My Channel TV, featuring a kaleidoscopic daily dose of programming. Stay with us every day and explore politics, economics, science, technology, lifestyle, culture, sports, and much more. We're here to amuse you, to keep you updated, and to keep you company. We're My Channel, your channel on Sky 203.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Tonight's topic is, should I forgive my cheating partner? Now, should you? It's like there's an option. But we know that if you don't forgive, you're going to carry that for the rest of your life. Okay, it's going to be hurting you. So, yes is my answer. But let's find out my guest for this evening. Her name is Nancy Sidibi.
Pushing me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
Nancy, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
All right, so you have your own version of events,
yes.
Right? Actually, what happened. And this all started when you were in France.
Yes.
Is that right?
That's right.
Tell us about, what happened to you when you were, I believe, at college, high school?
Yes, I was 16 years old.
Right.
So when I was 16, I met someone. Actually, it was in a party and through a party, and we started to speak, and he was way older than me. He was 21.
Right.
So at the time, it was a big difference. He was more experienced, and he was actually my first boyfriend. But at the time, because I was really young and the education I received, I didn't want to have intimate relationship with him. Mm-hmm. And for that reason, he decided to just find somebody else. And that girl was actually a friend of mine who was going to the same school as I was going. Right. And I learned that he had cheated. Through her, she came and spoke to me and asked me, "Oh, do you know this person?" And then she told me that he told her that, there was nothing between him and me.
So let me get this right. You were dating this guy?
I was dating him.
How long were you dating for?
For about 4 months, I would say.
4 months?
Yes.
So obviously he wanted something from you?
Yes.
You didn't want anything like that yet?
Yes.
So he decided to what? Immediately break up with you?
He didn't even break up. He just
left.
He did not say anything. And from that day, when I've learned that, for me everything was fine. Everything was normal.
You thought you two were still an item, like together?
Yes.
You thought?
I thought. But when she approached me and she started speaking to me, I realized that he had, you know.
Did she know that you were?
No, she didn't know.
Didn't?
She didn't know. Both of us didn't know. So when she told me that, I tried to contact him. He didn't answer my calls, and from that point, I had no contact with him.
Was he going to the same high school, or?
No, because he was way older. As I said, he passed that stage.
So he was like preying on girls in the college?
In the college.
Right.
That's it. So from then, of course, I felt betrayed. I was really upset, angry. I went through all the emotions that exist, but I decided to move on and to leave that. But I still carried that anger and somehow that desire for revenge. So I went and...
But okay, it was only 4 months.
Yes.
But actually, when did you find out from this other girl that it was actually your so-called boyfriend?
When did I find out?
How long after did you find out?
I found out maybe 5 months after.
Right.
So for me, it was, although it was very new, we didn't spend a long time together, but for me it meant a lot because he was my first boyfriend, and I didn't have any boyfriend before, and most of all because I was going through family problems, I opened myself to him to explain to him what was going on, and it was the first time that I was doing that. So for me it was really, really sad,
now
sad period.
You mentioned that you know, all the emotions were running through you. So what kind of emotions? Obvious ones like anger and sadness, but you said you wanted revenge.
Yes, I wanted revenge. I wanted to hurt him the way he hurt me. But I think the most, the one that really hurt was the feeling of shame. I was feeling ashamed because, of course, everybody knew about it. So it wasn't something that was private, it was public.
How did everyone know about it?
Well, obviously the girl spoke, and then it went on, and he saw it as well as an achievement. So he wasn't really, you know, hiding it or trying to ask for forgiveness or anything, but on the other hand, it was making it look as if he achieved something. It was something good for him. Because boys at that time, they wanted to get the most girls and they were competing against each other. So for him, it was a good thing, something that he could speak to his friends about and be proud of.
Right.
So from there, I started to live my life, but I never forget about him, never forgot. And then few years...
So were there times, as you said, you wanted to get revenge. So although you kind of moved on, but I'm sure there were kind of flashbacks. Sometimes feelings would come up again.
Always.
And how did you deal with those, or try to deal with those feelings?
Okay, so I would speak to some of my female friends about it, and it would just encourage me to move on, to forget, but I couldn't. I tried everything. I would appear on the outside as if I didn't care. I put up a front as if it didn't touch me, but that was all to protect me and to defend myself. But deep inside, I cared.
It's that same story of when you go home, then I don't know, some girls would kind of, I don't know, cut themselves or cry themselves to sleep, or do something drastic like that. So did you do anything like that?
I did do things like that. I would isolate myself, I would cry, I would take revenge on food as well, so I would eat a lot. And then I would vomit, but eat again.
Really?
Yeah, so I found ways to direct my anger.
What was, sorry to cut you, what was the point in eating a lot? What was going through your mind? What did you think eating?
Just comfort.
Okay.
Comfort, it was for comfort. And then when I would finish, I would make myself vomit, because of course I didn't want to keep it, but I just wanted to spend that moment with myself.
And how did you feel when you would throw up?
I would just feel like everything is finished. I didn't want to think about it anymore. So it was like I was leaving those bad moments again, and once I would throw up, everything was finished and I could move on.
It was like a psychological thing.
Exactly.
Right? But did you actually put on weight eating, or did you lose weight?
Oh no, I put on a lot of weight.
Really?
A lot of weight. And the more I would put on weight, the more I would be miserable, the more I would isolate myself, the more I would blame him indirectly. So all the problems that I had were, in my eyes, his fault.
Right.
Because he damaged me inside. So I was really looking forward to hurt him back.
Some people would say, why don't you just move on and let go and get on with your life? Why couldn't you just do that? I mean, looking back now, it's a lot easier looking back. But looking back, what could you have done differently?
I mean, the thing that I've learned after I forgave was that I wasn't seeing myself as responsible for what had happened.
Right.
So I put all the responsibility on him. But afterwards, with maturity, I realized that I also had a part of responsibility. Right. Because I allowed him into my life. And after all, I made that choice as well.
Well, one of the 5 points in the beginning was when you are looking or trying to find out about someone, you find out about their history. Did you do that as that young, 16-year-old girl?
No, I didn't.
I'm sure you probably got all the, this older guy is giving me attention, wow.
Exactly. So
he's my knight in shining armor, kind of thing.
Exactly. So I would be very flattered by his approach, and I was also very excited because he was more mature. So I was looking forward to learn things that I didn't know about, and I liked the idea of being led by someone who had experienced more in life.
Right.
So I liked that idea a lot. I liked the adventurous side of the relationship.
You were very naive, very innocent, right? And I think that's when older guys will exploit that.
Yes.
Right? Because if you were more mature, not necessarily in age, but if you were maturer, if you weren't that kind of dainty, I don't know if you were that kind of dainty girl that you could see there was some innocence there, I'm sure he wouldn't have gone after that type of girl, right?
For sure, no.
It's, as she said, it's a decision. And not only for young women, young girls, but there are adults as well who make this same mistake. When I asked Nancy, did you do your homework in trying to find out if this person has cheated? And of course, she mentioned that, it's her first relationship. She was young. You're not going to sit down and learn. Your parents can sit down and teach you to look out, watch out for this. You don't learn it in school. And so there are actually adults who make this same mistake over and over and over and over again, where they jump from one relationship to the next, and then they hear the same words, I love you, I'm here for you, and they open up and they think that this one is different from the last one, and then the situation is exactly the same. So, getting revenge, wanting revenge, you actually got back with him.
Yes, I did. Later on,
explain
after a few years. So what happened? I moved on with my life, but somehow there was an attachment there. I don't know why, I don't know how, but because of all what he sold to me, this whole idea of, adventure, so I still had a desire for it, because he was also someone that was from a gang lifestyle. So I liked that. Don't ask me why, but I liked the fact that he was kind of adventurous, he was bold, he was like older. So he liked danger. So this, I don't know, somehow excited me.
You mentioned about having family issues.
Yes.
So did that involve your father, or your father not being there, and that's why you kind of wanted this dangerous guy, this bad boy?
Yes, it was all related because my father was really strict. So I was a lot at home. I was most of the time forced to do things that I didn't want. So he was like my escape. The life that he was living, the way he was living his life was a way for me to escape from my household, from what was going on. So that caught my attention.
Yeah.
And I wanted that feeling of freedom.
So you had that freedom. You had the freedom to choose to date someone or not to date someone. But as you mentioned, you got back with him.
Back with him.
And what happened?
What happened is that the same story repeated itself. And actually,
was it with someone else that he cheated with you?
Yes, with someone else. And it was so bad that I remember one of my friends coming to me. I was walking on the road and I almost fainted because she came to let me know, okay, you know, something has happened again.
So this news always come from someone else?
Yes, always, always. So when this happened, I decided to cheat as well. But inside, I still didn't forgive. So I would still be with him. I would enjoy.
Did you kind of, when you got back with him, did you kind of get over it? Or was there still those feelings there when you were with him?
Yes, it was still there.
Right.
So it made the situation 30 times worse because I was still with him, but still with those feelings. So it made the relationship being like hell because I was always so negative. I was arguing all the time. I was checking everything he was doing. I became paranoid. I would check his Facebook all the time. But at the same time, he would also do things that wouldn't make me more secure. He would disappear for 2 days, 3 days without giving any signs and then come back. I knew that he was involved with crimes, so I was always worried. But at the same time, it would make me feel as if I'm his only stability, his reason for living. So there was a lot of emotional, you know, blackmail inside. So
you decided to cheat on him. And you actually cheated on him.
I cheated on him.
So the good girl turned bad.
That's it. I turned bad, but really bad.
So cheating, not forgiving him, still having that resentment inside.
Yes.
Did it get really bad?
It got really bad.
Tell us about that.
So there was a point that it became physical. So we started fighting each other. I was fighting as well. He was fighting. It was just unbearable. It had an effect on all my life, on my studies, my relationship with my family, with my friends. I changed completely. I was somebody that smiled a lot, that liked partying, that liked seeing friends, that liked going out, but I became isolated, insecure. I started hating myself. I didn't see any future for myself. I wanted to even kill myself at some point because of this, because all my belief in myself was depending on the way he was treating me. So if he would treat me in a bad way, I would feel horrible. But then the next day, things would get a little bit better, but only to get worse on the day after. So it was constant changes inside of me from one negative emotion to the other. And I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't have my parents to speak about it because they were really strict. It was a taboo. My friends were not more mature than I was, so there was no way out for me. And that's the time that I decided to come to England, because my parents would see that I would be going from worse to worse. So you thought coming to the UK was a fresh start? Yes, it was. Right. When you came to the UK, when did you come to the UK? 5 years ago. 5 years ago. We're talking about 2011? Yes. Say? So you were here in the UK.
Did things change? Or did you still have that
I still had it.
Those feelings inside?
I still had the feelings inside. I still was checking on him, what he was doing, who he was with.
So you're still with him?
I was still with him, but it was on and off. And I suspected that, you know, as I was not there physically, it would be a reason, one more reason for him to cheat and to be more free about, you know, having other girls. So I was here, I was unhappy. I went back a couple of times to try to make things work, but it wasn't working. And even after we separated, I had the feelings inside. I couldn't get over it. I tried everything, but it wasn't going.
Right. We're going to find out after the break how faith helped Nancy, you know, to forgive and let go of those feelings. And maybe you have the same feelings in you, whether you are with someone or not. You can't, it's like a cancer eating you inside. And you don't know what to do. You're like a walking zombie. If you have relationships, they don't work out. They fail. You don't believe in yourself. You know, you're not confident. Your esteem is low. Everything, most areas, if not all, are being affected because of this thing. You're going to learn what Nancy did right after this break. We'll see you after this.
The pursuit of happiness. What will make you happy? Success? Fame? New shoes? Financial security? Love? Education? Independence? Family? Sometimes in the pursuit of things we think will bring us happiness, sometimes we fail to see that we aren't happy, or we never find it. We live in a world of people. Rather than pursue things to make you happy, what if we all worked to make each other happy? Wouldn't we all be happier?
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Tonight's topic is, should I forgive a cheating partner? Now, before we go back to Nancy's story on how she learned to forgive, I want to show you a quick testimony of someone who used their faith. Have a look at this.
I used to be a very bubbly person, very sociable. But when I was by myself, I used to feel very empty, lonely, sad. I used to cry and just feel very, very unhappy. I just didn't know why, but I was very unhappy. That made me a very needy person. I thought my happiness would come from someone else. The first long relationship that I had, we had a child together, and I just had to, after 3 years, I had to flee from him because we had a very bad fight. And the second relationship, it was even worse. It was about 8 years of abuse, starting for psychological abuse, then lies, betrayal, unfaithfulness, until it got physical. I was totally depressed because I just couldn't deal with my life. I was really sad. I wanted to end with my life.
There was something about her I liked because she was always bubbly, but then I noticed that with time, she would come in some days and she would be very sad. She wouldn't speak to anyone. As she explained to me what she was going through, and I remember myself coming to the church, using my faith, learning how to overcome my problems and how I overcame them.
She was different from everybody else. She had a different faith, a different kind of advice. So I started wondering, where did she get this from? And that's when I got to know the church.
I was so happy because I knew within me that if she followed up with the advice that she was given, she'd be able to find a solution for her problems.
I learned how to deal with my problems in a different way. I learned how to live by faith. My life today is totally restored. I have control of my life. I know where to stand. I still have problems, but I know how to deal with them. I know how to overcome them. I face them. That's the beauty of it. For me, now, nothing is impossible.
So that's Yolanda's story, and actually she's been here on the Finding Answers sofa sharing her story, what she's gone through. And if you want to know more, then you can go to our YouTube channel and look for her story, and you can see the full story on our YouTube channel. Now back to Nancy. So how did you use faith in order to learn to forgive and move on?
So one day I remember being at my hairdresser's and speaking to her, and she invited me to come to a place of worship, and I started attending. Actually, she brought me there right after she finished my hair.
Really?
And from that day I started to attend. I started to listen and take on board what I was advised, and I started...
Sorry to cut in. She said, what? Did she know about the problems you're going through?
She knew. I mean, I explained to her that I needed help. I made it clear that I needed help. And it was somebody that I didn't even know.
Really? You just opened up to her?
I just opened up. So that's how much I was suffering from that problem. And then as she brought me to that place, I started attending, and I realized that I needed to do something about the situation.
Right.
I realized that it was affecting me in a way that maybe I had overlooked.
Did you actually believe in God before?
I believed in God, yes.
You did?
I believed.
Did you pray at any time?
I didn't pray, but somehow I believed that something could be done.
Right.
But I didn't know what and how.
So when you went to your hairdresser's place of worship, right?
Yes.
What kind of help did you get there?
So I got advice. I got to speak to people that were able to listen, and also to give me the truth, which I never got. I never was confronted to the truth.
And what was the truth? What did you learn about yourself?
I've learned that I was, as I said before, responsible also for what had happened, that I needed to deal with the situation as it was without looking back and trying to figure out how things could have worked out in a different way, that I needed to stop dreaming about the life that I wanted with him, for example, about something magical happening.
So am I right in assuming that you still had this idea in your head that I can still get back with him?
Yes.
Even though he cheated on me twice or more?
Yes, because I wanted him to recognize all the efforts I had made for him.
Right.
So because I felt despised for so many years, I wanted him to turn back and to recognize how much I had endured to make him happy, to make him notice me, to make him value who I was. So my value was basically in his hands.
Right.
So whatever he would do to me would affect me so much because I had given to him that power over me.
Yeah.
So when I spoke to the advisors, they were able to show me the reality that, you know, I cannot continue to dream about things that maybe will never happen. So I had to deal with the facts, and the fact was that I was suffering because I didn't want to let go of the feelings, and forgiveness was the way out.
Right.
So once I found that out, it was really hard.
It was a reality check.
Exactly, a reality check. So finding that out was, for me, the most unjust thing ever, because how could I have to forgive somebody that hurt me so bad? So it didn't make any sense for me at all.
He should come and apologize to me.
Exactly. Right? He should come and apologize to me. That was the ideal way that I would have dealt with the situation.
And up until now, till today, has he come to apologize to you?
Never.
So you still be feeling this way up until now?
Yes.
Right? How many years ago?
4, 3, 3.5.
You still be waiting for him to apologize to you. So there's no point waiting for him. You've got to do the job of forgiving him and releasing yourself and moving on and learning from your mistake, right? Or mistakes. So you learn, I assume you started to pray about it? I
started to pray about it. I started using my faith from the moment that I recognized that there was no other way out. That was my only issue. So I started seeing myself as living without thinking about him. That was a big step for me. Maybe it seems that it's nothing, but my thoughts were constantly thinking towards him. So little by little, I started to do things that I wouldn't do before. Get out of my house, meet people, attend more and more seminars to help me to build a future for myself without him. It was
like he was your world.
Exactly.
Now you had to create your own world. Now you had to have a life.
I had to have a life.
Right? And as you said, you started to do things now.
Yes.
You were in the UK.
I was.
And it's so many things that you could do. There are hobbies you can take up. There's classes that you can do. You know, I don't know if you were bigger then or not, but you could, you know, go to the gym, eat healthily, go to the place of worship.
Yes.
Right? So you started doing those things.
I started doing those things, and it was so good. I became really different, and I remember the first day that I ever stopped thinking about him. There was a point after doing so many things to get away from my routine that I realized, wow, today I didn't think about him. Today I didn't check his Facebook. Today I didn't worry.
I'm over him, in other words.
I'm over him.
Right.
And at that point I realized that something that was so big in my eyes, I was able to achieve by making small steps every day.
Right.
So because of this, I started using my faith even more. So it became like a snowball effect.
Yeah.
So I started using my faith in different areas. And even though sometimes I would get friends speaking about him once in a blue moon, or his sisters calling me, I started to realize that I wasn't interested. And that was impossible in my eyes.
Right.
When I first started to attend the place of worship.
Tell me, how is Nancy today?
Much better, different, over him. I'm not insecure in a way that I want to cling to someone to feel worth something, or to prove myself, to constantly beg for attention, to find out ways to make myself look better than other people. That would make me feel happy as well.
And there's no knight in shining armor or anything like that, right?
Yes.
You are, you know, you are working on yourself now, as we all are, continue work in progress.
Yes.
We're improving, getting better, right? And that's Nancy.
Yes.
And are you dating now? Are you in a relationship, or are you still single?
No, I'm dating.
You're dating now. Now, I'm sure you've got the experience.
I have.
Now you've learned the lessons, right?
I have.
He's not a knight in shining armor. He's not your everything.
No,
you are obviously dating and finding out whether he is right or not for you, right? Nancy, thank you for coming and sharing your story with us, all right? And if it does work out, I'm sure you can come on in the future and tell us, you know, how things were.
Okay,
all right?
for sure.
So you've heard Nancy's story and how faith helped her to forgive. And after the break, we are going to help you, because no matter what you've tried to do to let go of your past, to let go of that hurt, and maybe as you said, as we said actually, that maybe you're waiting for the person who hurt you to apologize. That's never going to happen. And even if it does, it's still, the fact remains that if you haven't forgiven the person, you are stuck in the mud. You need to release yourself. And through the prayer, we're going to help you to do that, all right? Let's go for a break. Get your glass of water ready, because after the break, we'll be praying for you. We'll see you after this.
Where DKW a different kind of woman. So I want to find out if you might have dyslexia.
My memory's not too good today.
And it's almost like you have to be this superwoman.
Years and years ago when I watched Titanic, and obviously My Heart Will Go On came on, and it just brought me back to that time.
And I was with 4 other sisters. Lord have mercy. So you know how they work. You're not gonna go over there and say nothing?
Come on, a little closer now, and let me know that you're mine. Woo!
It's going to be your turn to do your macaroons. No competition.
We're here at Britain's Top Designer 2015.
This is DKW. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Hi everyone, I'm James.
And I am Helena.
Join us here every Saturday at 3 p.m. for Love Talk,
the show that teaches you how to love intelligently.
On my channel, Sky 203.
See you there.
Love Talk on my channel, Sky 203, every Saturday, 3 p.m.
Follow my channel's updates on Facebook. Like your favourite videos and see pictures of your favourite artists. Access our Twitter @MyChannelUK and get to know what's on with My Channel. Visit tvmychannel.com and be connected to our world. My Channel, a whole new world of entertainment.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, before we go for the prayer, the Bible talks about forgiveness. Actually, Jesus said that we should forgive. It doesn't matter what was done to you, but we should forgive our enemies. He's saying forgive our enemies, even those who are considered enemies. And I wouldn't say that your partner is your enemy, but if in the worst case scenario we should forgive our enemies, then what about our cheating partner? What about the person that you still kind of have feelings for? Shouldn't you forgive as well? Of course, because as I mentioned before, when you hold that grudge, when you hold that feeling inside of you, it's like cancer. A cancer eating away. And only you are hurting yourself, because that person probably doesn't know what you're going through, is moving on with their life, doing what they're doing, and there's you stuck where you are. As you heard Nancy's story, she was stuck. She couldn't move forward. Imagine eating and then throwing up, right? Moving over to another country to try to escape and start again, but still the feelings are there. Until she learned how to use faith to forgive and to let go of her, if I can say, enemy. She did that. And now she's moved on, she's completely happy, and now she's dating someone. Now she knows she's getting advice on what to do in this current relationship now. And the same can happen to you. So, in short, the answer to the question, should I forgive my cheating partner? Yes, you should, even if they are the guilty party. But then, from then, you're going to, learn or decide if you want to give them another chance or if you want to move on. Either way, you're going to be free from this hurt. Get your glass of water ready, because now it's time for prayer.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like us to make a prayer concerning your family and loved ones, send your name and prayer request to help@findinganswers.tv.
My God, I pray now for this person who has found it hard to forgive their partner, hard to forgive the one that they thought they would spend the rest of their lives together. But unfortunately, one thing led to another. They have cheated on them, and now they are in this position where they are, feeling hurt, empty, even holding a grudge, wanting to exact revenge on their partner or ex-partner. My God, give them now this strength to forgive. Because when we do forgive someone, we are releasing ourselves from their grip. We are saying to ourselves and to the person as well, I'm not going to be under your control anymore. I am taking back control and I'm moving on with my life. My God, help this person to take back power and to move on, to move forward, be released from that hurt and burden that they've been carrying. My God, may you bless this glass of water that they hold in their hands. And when they'll drink it, may you give them this power to forgive, power to move on, and to be free. This is what I pray in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Drink this water now and receive not only God's forgiveness, but receive power to forgive the one who hurt you. So, there you have it, all right? You are free. Now, that's something that's not just going to be like that. Of course, there's going to be memories. You're going to see this person. But you've got to build on this prayer now. You've got to act upon it. You've got to pray. You've got to, continue doing this. Continue, working on yourself, letting go of the past until you reach that point, as Nancy said, where there comes a day when you don't think about that person anymore. That's when things are truly over for you. All right? Join us again for another Finding Answers. Actually, tomorrow we'll be here again with another program. Have a wonderful night. God bless you.